Tomorrow, I will be doing an interview for a podcast about Betty Broderick. The reason I'll be doing this interview is that she is included in my book, Voices from the Inside, Letters from Famous Prisoners. I received several letters and a Christmas card from Betty Broderick. Now, why is her case interesting? The reason her case is interesting, the reason she got a lot of sympathy that double murderers don't usually get, is because it seemed to dramatize a special problem of people, usually women, who follow the traditional role of being a full-time homemaker. Oprah Winfrey has called it the June Cleaver syndrome. And the fact is that a dependent spouse, and again, it usually will be a woman, it could be a man, is very vulnerable when a marriage breaks up. What's more, people are living longer than they did 100, 200 years ago. They live to be in their 70s and 80s and 90s, which they didn't back in the old days, or in the real old days. And one problem that causes is that the human male appears to be biologically programmed to be attracted to women within a particular age range, a young age range. And this is why so very often when a couple approaches middle age or gets into middle age, it will be the man who leaves for a younger woman. That's a very common thing to happen. And very often the wife who has been, who has done her due diligence as a homemaker finds herself in a really precarious position. After 20 or so years outside the paid labor market, her labor in that market is not worth very much. She doesn't really have much of a chance to get back into the paid labor market, and she is dependent on getting an appropriate settlement in a divorce. Betty Broderick had a particular problem there with that settlement because her husband was a big shot in in law. He was one of the most respected attorneys around and had a great deal of power. And I do think that she was, and I titled my chapter on her in my Voices from the Inside, June Cleaver Gone Murderous. I hope you enjoyed hearing that.